that. And now, Councillor,
Thank you.
there is a part A.
through. Yeah, so they've their lease has expired, and although they've been leasing this for many years, I can't remember, it's about 17 years, I think, they kind of missed that it was coming up for renewal. It has expired, and the staff have decided that because it needs earthquake repairs, it's not, and the lease has to go out to the open market. So what we're doing is recommending to extend the lease for 3 years so that we can get the work done and prepare it to be put out to the open market. And during that time, the rent will be altered from being based on their turnover to being a fixed rental for each year, which the lessees are happy with. Of course, they will be able to apply for the lease as well as part of the open market. So that's recommending that the council agrees to that.
Yeah, that's not binding us to a position of going out to the market, because I mean that is an old policy of going out to the market after an extended period of lease. But these have been the only lessees, haven't they, during that period?
But we're given to believe that there is compulsory to put it out to the open market.
Yeah, under our existing policy,
right.
It is. Yeah. But I mean, exactly the same thing happened in South Brighton, and I just think that we have to be open to a slightly more flexible approach around these matters. But this doesn't bind us to that. This extends the lease, and later on in PX we'll deal with the fixed annual rent. But it's not binding us to a particular position.
The current lessees would be extremely relieved to hear that. They've put in considerable investment into this camp. They've got it running extremely well. Of course, at the moment, that investment's worth zero to them. So is this the opportunity to address that now or later on?
No, but we've got 3 years, so...
Thank you.
And at some point we will invite that policy to be reviewed. Yep.
News.
Yanni.
Yeah, I was just surprised at this one, given what happened with Mona Vale. So, like, we were told that their lease was terminated and it would go out for open tender. So, I'm just trying to understand from staff why this one is different.
My understanding is the difference with Mona Vale was that because of the extensive earthquake repairs that were required for Mona Vale, that it was an opportunity to consult people in the industry to be able to work out how to configure things and run it in the future, and that was a line in the sand, I think, that was drawn as far as being able to start again, but I might be wrong. I don't see them as similar at all, to be honest.
On Mona Vale was really clear that we had to go up for tender, and I just want us to be consistent.
We are. All this is an extension of the lease for 3 years. These are people who have invested their life into this place. This is exactly the same as the South Brighton one, except the extent of the damage isn't as
Yeah, I think
significant.
in terms of Mona Vale, the issue was that for these leases, people know that there's a fixed date. And I mean, I agree, the same case in Mona Vale, they've been there for, I don't know, since 1965. So it just, I mean, I welcome us looking at how we do things like this. I think maybe there's some work we need to do.
Yeah, well, there probably is, but this isn't the time to do it. This is around extending the lease for South Spencer Park.
Given that the certainty around the facilities rebuild, I do wonder whether we should actually be trying to do it. I question whether we need to wait for 3 years or whether we should actually be maybe doing it for 2 years. Or just rolling it over on an annual basis?
It's just that the staff recommendation is that they'll need the 3 years to complete the earthquake repairs, because they can't address the lease issue until that's done.
It seems silly that you would wait. So if you're doing earthquake repairs, and this is again the Mona Vale thing, is if you're looking at what you repair and how you repair it, that depends on the future. That should depend on the future use. So you might do things in a different way based on whoever's operating it. But actually fixing stuff just as it is, without understanding what the future use is going to be doesn't seem a very sensible approach.
Madam Mayor, could I just interject
Yeah, this
here?
is a
I think
camping
they
ground,
are
is
quite
it?
different. The camping
They
ground
are.
is continuing to operate, not only in a better financial position than it was prior to the quakes. The earthquake repairs, my understanding, do not require them to vacate. Mona Vale has been empty and unusable since the earthquakes. Can we move on with this? I don't see
Yeah.
any...
Yanni, the future use of the camping ground will be the same, so that's,
Yeah.
you know. I fully support reviewing this at a later date.
Yeah.
Leanne, that'd be great.
All right, I shall put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. Carried. And then we have the Grassmere Street, Rutland Street shared path